Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Box Office Ricky, and today we are breaking down the return of Star Wars to the big screen with The Mandalorian and Grogu. Before we get before we get into this review, let's quickly talk about how we actually got here. It's been nearly 7 long years since we've had a last Star Wars movie in theaters, and for the last 7 years, the franchise has been totally cooped up on Disney Plus. So, what was the inspiration for this movie? Money. No, I'm kidding. Well, actually, money is true. John Favreau and Lucasfilm decided to skip season 4 of the show for now and take their biggest streaming hit and pack it up for the big screen and try to reignite that theatrical spark. And I think the reason why they needed that theatrical spark is because after the failure of Rise of Skywalker, a lot of fans were starting to revolt against this new non George Lucas led era of Star Wars. And you could tell that there was a lot of discourse within the Star Wars Lucasfilm enterprise at Disney. And I think they just wanted something that was a sure bet. And because The Mandalorian had such a big fan base, especially with Baby Yoda, they said to themselves, you know what, let's go with a for sure thing. Now, let's get into my overall thoughts. At the end of the day, um, this movie was just flat out fun. I know a ton of people online have been bitching and moaning that this movie wasn't necessary. But honestly, it felt so damn good to sit in a dark theater and watch a brand new Star Wars movie again. I actually brought my 6-year-old daughter, and she had never seen a single episode of a Disney Plus series. And guess what? It's charming and it really reminds you of the magic of going to the movies. In the grand scheme of Star Wars film, I think it's absolutely totally fine. And the most it does its job. And the biggest standout element for me is, I would say, the musical score. It's incredibly cool, highly atmospheric, and really fits the whole cinematic universe. That said, I have to be real with you guys. This movie is far from perfect. You can clearly feel its streaming roots, and um, some of the CGI, but and unfortunately, it really, shows in the visual effects. Some of the CGI graphics look bloody awful, and I'm talking most about, I'm talking almost as terrible as the chunky CGI from the George, the chunky CGI from the George Lucas special edition redos back in the '90s. Just felt very unpolished, messy, and really jarring for a major theatrical release. On top of that, there are practically like no high stakes here. It's very low stakes. It's a simple adventure. But again, if you accept it for what it is, it's a fun, kid-friendly movie. You and your family are going to have a good time. I really enjoyed it. Now, let's talk about my overall favorite subject, box office data. Now, the numbers came in over the long Memorial Day weekend, and frankly, they are pretty low for a Star Wars movie. It brought in roughly $102 million domestically over the 4-day weekend. To put that in perspective, it did almost the same exact opening week numbers, so same opening weekend numbers as Solo, a Star Wars movie back in 2018. Now, the internet is going to try to tell you that it is an absolute disaster, but context does matter here. Unlike Solo, which cost an absolute fortune to make, The Mandalorian and Grogu had a much more reasonable budget. It had already cleared its entire production cost globally in weekend one. So while it's not a historic blockbuster, it's definitely not a flop. Family and kids are turning out, and that's going to keep it afloat. All right, guys, so that is a wrap on this review. I have plenty more box office breakdowns coming and more reviews coming your way very soon. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. And as I always say, just a reminder, and remember, in a world where you can be anything, why not be kind to one another? Catch you at the next box office, guys. Thank you so much for watching.